It is undoubtedly a controversial issue, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent the abortion debate to a whole new level with her Sunday comments about when life begins.
I would say that as an ardent practicing Catholic, this is an issue that I have studied for a long time. And what I know is over the centuries, the doctors of the church have not been able to make that definition.
Yet Catholic leaders from Denver to D.C. say Pelosi, a Catholic who's also been given a perfect voting score from the National Abortion and Reproductive Rights Action League, got it wrong.
From the very beginning, first century on, the church has said, you can't take an unborn life.
What she said was scandalous. It can lead other people into error. And so we have a duty to correct it.
10 Catholic Republican House members also quickly responded, writing, quote, "We hope that you will rectify your errant claims and apologize for misrepresenting the church's doctrine and misleading fellow Catholics." One member who signed on to the letter says if Pelosi isn't willing to honor the church's fundamental teachings over her own interpretations, she's free to join another faith.
The reality is she made an erroneous statement about a church teaching that further shows the trouble that people have with the schizophrenic separation of their personal private beliefs in the Catholic Church and their public actions supporting things such as partial birth abortion. It's unsustainable, it's illogical.
It's that dichotomy of private beliefs and political action that collide when Catholic pro-choice politicians want to take communion.
You have to examine your conscience before you present yourself for communion. And if you are not truly living out what you believe and what you profess you believe, then the onus is on you to make the right decision about communion.
I am questioning his judgment. I am questioning his judgment.
It shows an extreme position on abortion. It's essentially infanticide. And also because if he lied about it and he's covered it up over the 4 years, and then he accused those who found out of being liars, it gets to him on the character issue.
Let's talk about Barack Obama. He's being targeted by pro-life groups over a situation in the state Senate, a piece of legislation that essentially protected infants born alive after botched abortions.
Right.
He was asked about this in a CBN interview Saturday night. Let's take a quick listen.
They have not been telling the truth. And, you know, I hate to say that people are lying, but here's a situation where folks are lying. So for people to suggest that I and the Illinois Medical Society, so Illinois' doctors, were somehow in favor of withholding life-saving support from an infant born alive is ridiculous. It defies common sense and it defies imagination.
Pro-life groups say it demonstrates his extremism. Explain the background on this.
Well, he's calling the pro-lifers liars because they, and it turns out they're not liars. They said correctly that he voted against a bill while in the Illinois legislature that would have protected born alive infants that were born as a result of botched abortions. He voted against that bill. He said at the time, well, there was a national bill that says, you know, there's a national bill that I would support, but this state bill undermines Roe versus Wade. Problem is, when you read the state bill and you read the national bill, they're virtually identical. So the Obama campaign has had to backpedal a little bit from their accusation that the pro-lifers are liars, and now they're putting out this spin that says, well, what he was talking about was a group of bills that he was considering. You know, there was a companion bill that went along with this state, you know, born alive, infant born alive bill. And the pro-lifers are saying, wait a minute, these were totally different pieces of legislation. You voted no on this born alive infant bill. Forget about what you said about some companion bill. You're just trying to wiggle out of this.
It shows an extreme position on abortion. It's essentially infanticide. And also because if he lied about it and he's covered it up over the 4 years, and then he accused those who found out of being liars, it gets to him on the character issue.
What point is a baby entitled to human rights?
At the moment of conception. I have a 25-year pro-life record in the Congress, in the Senate, and as President of the United States, I will be a pro-life president, and this presidency will have pro-life policies.
I think that whether you're looking at it from a theological perspective or a scientific perspective. Answering that question with specificity, is above my pay grade.
Ladies and Senators McCain and Obama answering the same question from Rick Warren at Saturday night's forum at the Saddleback Church out in California.